Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel SAP Formula. In this video, let us cover in detail about functional specification. Now, what do you mean by functional specification and in which case this functional specification will come into picture and why this functional specification is so important for functional consultant, okay? So in real time, definitely as a functional consultant, we have to give FS document. FS is nothing but functional specification document to the technical team to develop some reports or usually we call RICEFs. Okay. So now what do you mean by functional specification and how to write the functional specification and how we have to explain for the ABAPers. So let us see each and everything in detail in this video. Now let us see how we can write a functional specification for the customer master. So now these are the important tables in customer master. Okay. KNA1, KNB1, KNBB, that is sales data, KNBA, that is a tax information, and KNVP is nothing but the partner function. Now, if I go to SAP, I will go to XD03. I will go to XD03. I will give the customer, I will give the company code, sales or distribution channel and division. Okay, click enter. Click enter. So now what is my requirement? Now the client requirement is that, see, for example, I am in the general data. I am in the general data. Now I will go to slash OSC16N. I will go to SO16N. Now I will give KNA1 table. Give KNA1 table. Okay, KNA1 table. Give KNA1 table and give the customer and click and execute and execute. So now you can see all the information about the customer related to only the general data. Okay, you can see this is the general data of the customer master. Okay, so now we have something called company code data. If I click on the company code data, now you can see all this reconciliation account. Now all these data related to the company code of the customer is stored in different table which is called as KNB1 table. Okay, so now I will go to SAP. Now come back. I will give KNB1, and I will give the customer and I will execute this function. Okay, now you can see all the information of the customer related to only the company code data. So similarly, we have one more table which is KNVB, which is nothing but customer master sales data. Now if I give the customer master, if I click on execute, okay, you can see all the information related to customer master. Okay, so now I'll go to sales area data. I'll go to sales area data. So now you can see all the information of the customer related to sales area data. Now we have something called partner function here. Okay, you can see sold to party, bill to party, payer, and ship to party here. So now these data will be stored in KNVP table. Okay, KNVP table. KNVP table. Now if I give the customer here, and if I click on execute, okay, so now you can see all the partner function, that is sold to party, bill to party, payer, and ship to party. All the informations you can see here. Now I'll come back. Now we have one more table which is KNVI. KNVI is nothing but the tax classification of the customer. Okay, give the customer and execute. Now you can see all the information related to tax classification of the customer. So now how many tables we have? So we have almost 5 tables in customer master, that is KNA1, KNB1, KNVB, KNVI, and KNVP. Now, if you see all the information related to general data is stored in this table and company code data is stored in this table, sales area data is stored in this table, KNVI is stored in this table, and KNVP, that is partner function, is stored in this table. Now, the client cannot go to each and every table and get the information of the customer. Now, what is the client requirement? Client requirement is they want one Z transaction. Okay, they want some Z TRANS. They want some Z transaction, and when as soon as they execute the Z transaction, they should be able to see customer code, name, city, country, region, email ID, GL account, customer group, pricing procedure, shipping condition, payment terms, import terms, account assignment group of a customer, customer status, and ship to party. So all these information, okay, all these informations they should be able to see in one single page. Okay, as soon as they execute the transaction code, because what happens in real time, these table level access we will not give it to end users. Okay, so we have to create one Z transaction, and in this Z transaction we have to capture all these feeds into this report. Okay, that is the client requirement. So now we have to write the function specification for this requirement for this Z transaction, and we should explain to AppApper so that they will write and they will give one Z transaction. Now, how to write this functional specification, let us see in this video in detail. So also what I will do, I will add here two more fields. Okay, customer name, region, GL account. So what I will do, I will add two more fields here, insert. So I want to know what is a customer division. Okay, DIV. So I want to know what is a customer division, and I want to know the distribution channel. I want to know the distribution channel of the customer. Okay, so this is my requirement. So what is my requirement? So I want to see all this information in single page by executing some Z transaction, and all these information is not stored in one table. Okay, if you see, we have to combine almost four tables here. Okay, so now KNA1, customer code KNA1, correct, customer name KNA1, city is KNA1, country is KNA1, region is KNA1, email address. Now I will not tell, I will tell you later because we have something there in email address. Next KNB1, division is KNBV, distribution channel KNBV, customer group KNVV, pricing procedure is KNVV, shipping condition is KNVV, payment terms is KNVV, and Inco terms is KNVV, account assignment group of customer is KNVV, customer status is KNVV, and ship to party is KNVP. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to combine all these four tables and we have to give the logic for the papers so that they will write the logic and they will give one Z transaction. As soon as the end user execute this Z transaction, they will be able to see all this information. So now let us see how to write the functional specification for this report. So now what I will do first is what? First is customer code. So I will write here customer code. Okay. I will give here customer code. Okay. So now I have to write the functional specification for customer code. So now how to write the functional specification for customer code? Okay. So first what we have to do here. Okay. So now here, so from which table we have to fetch the customer code? We have to fetch the customer code from KN event table. See, depending upon the report, okay, because we can fetch the customer code from KNB1 table also, from KNVB table also, we can fetch from KNVI table also, we can fetch from KNVP table also. So, but what is my base here? The base is, this is the base. Okay, KNA1 table is the base. Now, customer code. So, from which table we have to fetch the customer code? So, we have to fetch the, so how to write the functional specification? Fetch customer code. Okay, so now what I will do, I will go to SC16N. I will go to SC16N. I will give KNE1 table, KNE1 table. Now what I will do, I will give the customer code and I will click on execute. Okay, so before executing this, what is the, see, this is the table name. This is the table name and these are the technical names, or in short we will call this as field names. Okay, field names. So now what I have to write here? Okay, what I have to write here? So fetch KUNNR, fetch KUNNR from KNA1 table. Simple, right? Simple, right? So what you're doing here, fetch Kunar. So what is the Kunar? So Kunar is nothing but the customer code. Kunar is nothing but the customer code. So fetch Kunar from KNA1 table. Clear, right? So this is how we will fetch the customer code. Now what is the next thing we have? We have name. Okay, that is nothing but customer name. Okay, so customer name. Okay, so now what you have to do? So pass Kunar. What is Kunar? Customer code. Pass Kunar into which table? KNA1 table. Okay, so pass Kunar into KNA1 table, or what you can do, KNA1 Kunar. Okay, so pass customer code into where you have to pass. So this is my customer code, which is nothing but Kunar. So pass Kunar into KNA1 and in this field. Because how Ababas will get to know where I should pass this customer code? They don't know, right? So what if they pass the customer code in search term? So that is why what we will do, we will tell the Ababas that pass Kunar. Kunar is nothing but my customer code. So pass Kunar into KNA1 with field KUNNR. Okay. So what I'm telling to AppApper, I'm telling to AppApper that pass the customer number into KNA1 Kunar field. Okay, into KNA1 Kunar field and fetch. So what I have to fetch? I have to fetch the name. Okay, and fetch name. Okay, now I will execute this. I will execute this. Okay, what is the name one? Name one is Willow Stores. I will double click on this. So this is the name Willow Stores. So what is the technical name? Technical is name is NAME1. Okay. So now what I have to fetch? Fetch KNA1 name one. Okay. So in this case, what you are doing? The name is spelling is wrong. NAME. Okay, so what I am telling? I am telling that pass Kunar into KNA1 Kunar table and fetch KNA1 name 1. Okay, KNA1 name 1. So this is how we will write the functional specification for name. Now, what is the next requirement we have? Next requirement is city. Next requirement is city. So now how to write city for this? Okay, simple. Pass customer code. What is customer code? Kunar. Pass Kunar into which table? KNA1 table. Where I have to pass? I have to pass in Kunar only. I have to pass the customer code into KNA1 Kunar, Kunar table, table, and what I have to fetch? Fetch, fetch KNA1, KNA1, and what is the technical name for city? The technical name for city. So here I have city, correct? In this row I have city. Okay. So what is the city? ORT01. So I will execute this. I will execute this. I will double click on this line item. So where is the city here? City is here, Bengaluru. Bengaluru is the city, and this is the field name. I will copy this. I'll copy this and I will paste here. Clear, right? So pass the customer code into KNA1 table and fetch KNA1 ORT01, which is nothing but the city. Now, what is the next we have? We have country. Next we have is country. So country also simple. So what we have to do here? So pass the customer code. What is the customer code? Kunar. So pass the customer code into which table? KNA1 table, which is nothing but where I have to pass? I have to pass in Kunar field. Okay, I have to pass the customer code into KNA1 Kunar field. Okay, Kunar field and fetch and fetch. So what you have to fetch? You have to fetch the country. You will fetch the country from which table? KNA1 table. So where is the country here? Okay, where is the country here? City, street. Country is here, India. So what is the field name? Land one. So I'll copy this and I will paste here. Simple. Clear, right? So country. So how you will fetch the country? You will pass the customer code into KNA1 Kunar field and you will fetch KNA1 LAND1. Okay, so this is how you have to write the functional specification. Now, what is the next one we have? Next one we have is region. Okay, REGION region. So how to write the functional specification? Simple. So what you have to do? REG. Okay, so what you have to do here? So here, simple. So pass, okay. So pass Kunar, okay. So what you have to do? Pass Kunar into KNA1 Kunar table and fetch KNA1. So what I have to fetch? I have to fetch the region. So where is the region here? 36. So what is the field name? Regio, REGIO, Regio. Okay. So now I will paste here. Okay. So this is done. So customer code, customer name, city, country, region we have fetched. So next one, what we have to fetch? We have to fetch the email ID. So from where we can fetch the email ID? Email ID. So next I have to fetch the email ID. So from where I can fetch the email ID? So now email ID. So how we can fetch email ID? So remember, we cannot fetch email ID directly from KNA1 table. So that is why I have not written KNA1 table. Okay. But how we can fetch this email ID? So it is simple. Okay. So what you have to do? So you have to pass Kunar. Kunar is nothing but what? Customer code. So pass Kunar. Okay. I will control B. Okay. So what you have to do? Pass Kunar. You have to pass the customer code into KNA1 Kunar field or table and fetch Kunar table and fetch address. Okay, so you have to fetch the address. So how to fetch address? I'll go to SC16N. KNA1 table. Okay, go to KNA1 table. Now pass the customer code here. Pass the customer code here. Click on execute. Click on execute. So now double click on this. So now we have something called address here. Address. So 4 times is 0, 733 926. So now I have to fetch this address. So fetch the address. Okay. So what you have to do, fetch KNA1 address. So what you have to do, you have to fetch KNA1 address. So now what next you have to do? Next you have to do pass KNA1 at ADRNR. So what is KNA1 ADRN? It is nothing but the address. Now pass this address into ADR6 table, into ADR6. So ADR6 is the table. So what is the field name? ADRNR. Okay, I'll show you. I'll show you. So now I will close this. I will close this. I'll come back. I'll come back. So go to ADR6 table. ADR6 table. Okay, ADR6 table. So where you have to pass the address number here. Okay. So now copy this. So now pass KNA1, which is nothing but the address number, into ADR6 in this field. Okay. So in this field. So you have to pass in this field. Okay. So you have to pass the address number. What is the address number? KNA1 ADRNR is the address number. So you have to pass the address number into ADR6. ADR6 this address number. Okay. So I will pass here the address number. So this is the address number. Click on execute. Now this is the email ID. Now if I double click on this, okay, so this is my email ID. Okay, now I'll copy this email ID, email ID, email ID. So you are passing the address number into ADR6 ADD RNR number field, and fetch what you have to fetch, ADR6 and this field name. So this is how you will fetch the email ID. So you will fetch the email ID with the help of KNA1 table and ADR6 table. Okay. So from KNA1 table, you will fetch the address number, and you will pass the address number into ADR6 table to fetch the email ID. So this is how you will write a logic to fetch the email ID. Okay. Now next we have is GL account. Okay. Now what is the next one we have? So we have GL account. So we have GL account. So now how to write logic for GL account? Simple. So pass Kunar into KNB1 table. Okay, now I'll come back, close this, come back, come back. KNB1 table. Okay, KN1 table. So where you have to pass the customer number, you have to pass the customer number into KNB1 table and in Kunar field. Okay. So now what I will do? So GL account. So pass the Kunar number into KNA1 Kunar table, and fetch KNB1. So you are fetching this GL account from KNB1 table. And what is the technical name? So I will so here I have reconciliation account. Okay, here I have reconciliation account. For this reconciliation account, what is the technical name? AKONT. So now I will give this AKONT. Okay. So this is how you will fetch the GL account for this customer, by passing the customer code into KNA1 table. Now I will add one more. Okay, I want to know what is the company code of this customer. Company code of the customer. Okay. So how you will write the logic for this? Simple, correct? So what you have to do? You have to pass the customer number into KNB1 Kunar table or field. Okay, and fetch company code from which table? KNB1 table. And what is the technical name of the company code? The company code is here, correct? So this is the company code of the customer, which is BURKS. BURKS, control B. Simple, right? So this is how, with the help of KNB1 table, you will fetch the company code and GL account. Okay. So now what is the next field we have? So after a GL account, okay, after a GL account, I want to know what is the division. What is the division distribution channel of the customer? Okay. So now the next we have is division. Okay. I have to know how to fetch the division of the customer. So simple. So what you have to do, you have to pass the customer code. What is the customer code? Customer code is nothing but Kunar. So pass customer code into which table? KNVV table in Kunar field. Okay, so you have to pass. So you have to pass the customer number into KNVV table. So I will go back. Okay, I will give KNVV table. Okay, KNVV table. Okay, so now Kunar is here. Kunar is here. Now suppose I will give the customer code. Click on execute. Click on execute. So now what I will do, I will double click on this line item. Okay, what is a division? Division is SPART. SPART. So Control C. So now we'll paste in the Excel sheet. Okay. So pass the customer code into KNVV Kunar table and fetch what you have to fetch. You have to fetch the division from which table? From KNVV table. Simple. So now what is the next field? We have distribution channel. Okay. We have next distribution channel. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to pass the Kunar. What is Kunar? Customer code. So pass the customer code into which table? KNVV table. Okay, KNVV table in Kunar field. So in Kunar field you have to pass the customer number, and what you have to fetch, you have to fetch the distribution channel. So from which table you want to fetch? You want to fetch the distribution channel from KNV table. Now what is the technical name of the distribution channel? The technical name of the distribution channel is here. Okay, which is VTWEG. VTWEG. Simple. So this is how you will fetch the division, and this is how you will fetch the distribution channel. Now, what is the next field we have? Next field we have is customer group and pricing procedure. Okay. So next we have is customer group. Customer, customer group. Okay. We have customer group, and next we have is pricing procedure. Okay. Pricing, pricing procedure. So we have these two things. Okay. So now how to fetch the customer group? Simple. You have to pass the customer number. What is the customer number? Kunar. So into which table you have to pass? You have to pass in KNVV table. And in which field you have to pass? You have to pass the customer code in Kunar field. Kunar field. And what you have to fetch? You have to fetch the customer group. Okay, table and fetch and you have to fetch the customer group from KNVB table. Now, what is the field name of the customer group? So, if I go to SAP, so customer group is here ZZ. Okay, ZZ is the customer group, and KDGRP. KDGRP is the technical name of this. Okay, so customer group, simple. So clear, right? So how you will fetch? You will pass the customer number into KNV table. In which field you will pass the customer code? You will pass the customer code in Kunar field, and you will fetch the customer group from KNVB table. Now, next what we have? We have pricing procedure. Okay, this is also same. So how you will write? So you will pass the customer code. Okay, pass. So pass customer code, which is nothing but Kunar. Pass the Kunar into which table? KNVV table. And where I have to pass this customer code? I have to pass this customer code into Kunar field. And what I have to fetch? I have to fetch the pricing procedure. So from which table I am fetching? I am fetching from KNVV table. Now what is the technical name of the pricing procedure? Customer pricing procedure. So if you come down and so customer pricing procedure, we have customer pricing procedure. So what is the customer pricing procedure? We have KALKS. This is a customer pricing procedure. Okay. This is the customer pricing procedure. So clear. So this is how we will fetch the customer pricing procedure. So next what we have? So next we have shipping condition. So I have to fetch the shipping condition, payment terms, and Incoterms. Okay. So I have to fetch the three things again. So shipping conditions. Okay. Next we have is payment terms. Payment terms. And next we have Incoterms. Incoterms we have. Okay. These three things we have to fetch now. Okay. Now, how you will fetch the shipping condition? So simple. So what I have to pass here? Okay, what I have to pass? Pass Customer code. What is customer code? Kunar. Correct. So pass the customer code into which table? KNVV table. If in KNVV table, where I have to pass? In Kunar field. So I have to pass. Okay. So I have to pass the customer code into KNVV Kunar, and what I have to fetch? And what I have to fetch? I have to fetch, I have to fetch the shipping condition of the customer. Shipping condition, where it will be stored? It will be stored in KNVV table, and I have to know what is the field name of this shipping condition. So if I scroll down, if I scroll down, okay, scroll down. So you can see shipping condition 01. So this is the field name VSBED. Okay, copy that, and I will paste here, and I will paste here. Okay, Control V. So pass the customer code into KNVV table. So where I have to pass? I have to pass in the field of Kunar. So pass the customer code into this table and fetch KNVV VSBED. Okay. So this is how you will write the functional specification for shipping condition. So now next what we have? So we have payment terms. So now how to fetch these payment terms? Let us see. Okay. So similarly, what we have to do? So we have to pass the customer number. What is the customer number? Kunar. So pass the customer number into KNVV table. Into KNVV table. In KNVV table, so where I have to pass? I have to pass the customer code into KNVV table in Kunar field. In Kunar field. In Kunar field. And what I have to fetch? And fetch. So what I have to fetch? I have to fetch the payment terms. So from which table? KNVV table. And what is the technical name of the payment terms? Okay. So now if I scroll down, if I scroll down, okay, if I scroll down, so here you can see payment terms. Here you can see payment terms. So Z term is the field name. Z term. Copy this and paste it here. Simple, correct? So now, next what we have? We have Incoterms. So now how to fetch this Incoterms? Okay, simple. So what you have to do? You have to pass customer number, which is nothing but Kuna. So pass the customer number into KNVV in the field of Kuna, in the field of Kunar, and fetch what you have to fetch. You have to fetch the incoterms from which table? From KNVV table. Okay. Now what is the incoterm field name? Okay. So now where is the incoterm? I can see. So incoterms go up. So here I have incoterm CIF. That is inco one. Inco one I have. So now I will give this incoterm. Incoterm. Okay. So now okay. I want to know the description of this incoterm also, or incoterm 2. So what I will do? I will write here inco term. So what is the proper name? Incoterms part 2. Okay, incoterms I will give path 2 I'll give. Okay. Now I have to fetch this. So now how I should write the logic? So I don't have to pass the input terms into different tables. So from here only we can fetch. Okay. So how pass the customer code, which is in Kunar. So pass Kunar into which table? KNVB. So where I have to pass this customer code? I have to pass the customer code into Kunar. Okay, KU Kunar, and fetch what you have to fetch. You have to fetch the incoterm part 2 from which table? KNVB table. Now what is the technical name of this? The technical name of this is Bengaluru. So what is the field name? Field name is Inco2. That's all, simple. Inco2. Okay. So now similarly I have to fetch the currency of the customer. I have to fetch the currency of the customer. Now how I can fetch? So simple. So pass. Okay, once again, currency. Okay. So now what I have to do? I have to pass the customer number into which table? KNVB table. I have to pass the customer code into Kunar field. And what I have to do? I have to fetch the currency from KNVB table. Okay. So where is the currency here? So currency you can see INR. INR is the currency. Now what is the field name? WAERS. So copy this WAERS and paste it here. paste it here. Okay. So this is how you will fetch the currency of the customer. Okay. Now what is the next field we have? So for example, I want to fetch the delivering plant of the customer. Delivering plant of the customer. So delivering plant. So delivering plant. So now what I have to do? I have to pass Kunar into KNVV Kunar table. Okay, and fetch. Okay, and fetch KNVV. Now what is the delivering plant? Delivering plant is ZZ01. What is the technical name we have? VWERK. So VWERK I will give. Okay. So this is how you will fetch the delivering plant of the customer. So now what is the next field we have here? So if I come here, account assignment group of customer and customer status and ship to party. Okay. Account assignment group of customer. Account assignment group of customer. Okay. So simple. So what you have to do, you have to pass the customer code, which is assignment Kunar, into KNVV table. In Kunar field, I have to pass the customer code, and I have to fetch what I have to fetch. I have to fetch account assignment group of customer from which table? From KNVV table. Now, what is the technical name of this account assignment group of customer? Here we have. Okay. So KTGRD. I will copy this and I will paste here. Okay. So this is how I will fetch the account assignment group of the customer. Okay. So now what next I have to fetch? Account assignment group of customer is done. Now we have customer status. Customer status. So customer status. Customer status. So we can block the customer in many places. Okay. So we can block the customer in many places. So what I will do? I will go to the customer master. I'll go to the customer master. So I will close this. I will close this. Okay. So now what you have to do? So I'll go to sales area data. Sales area data. I will go to the change mode. Go to the change mode. Okay. Go to the change mode. And I think in ECC we can't block directly here. Okay, in ECC, we don't have a provision to block the customer in XT03 screen. So we will block the customer directly in a business partner. Okay, in business partner only we will block. So I think we have some transaction code. Let me check XD04 slash O XD04. What is this transaction XD04? Customer account group changes. I think not here. What is XD05 slash and XD05? Customer block or unblock screen. Okay, click enter. Click enter. So now where you want to block, whether you want to block all company code level or selected company code level. So where you want to block, okay, whether you want to block all sales area, okay, and in terms of delivering block. So you can block the customer at sale order level or at delivery level or at billing block or block status block sales support. Okay, you can block the customer in any of this. Okay, so now how to find the technical name of this? So simple. Okay, so place the cursor here. So click F1 on your keyboard. Okay, click F1. Now you will be able to see the screen. Now click on this technical information. Click on the technical information. Okay, you can see this is stored in KNA1 table only. It is stored in KNA1 table only. And what is that field name? This is the field name EAUFSD. So now what I will do? So I will just copy that field name. I will copy the field name and I will paste in the Excel sheet. Okay, I will paste in the Excel sheet. Okay, this is the field name. So what is my client requirement? Client requirement is that I want to fetch all the customers who are blocked for sales order. Okay, so now what I will do? I will click on F4, click F4. Okay, now I will give overall block and save this. Okay, so now what I will do? I will go to SA69 table. Okay, close this. So close this, come back, come back. I'll go to KNA1 table. Okay. Now I will pass the customer code here. Click on execute. Okay. Now double click on this. Click Control F and copy that field name. Click enter. You can see central overall block. Okay. So I want to fetch all the customers who are blocked for sales order. So how to write the logic? Simple. Okay. It is simple. So pass Kunar into KNA1 table. So where I have to pass the customer code in Kunar field. Okay. And fetch where is this table TABL table and fetch KNA1 AUFSD. Simple. So now system will give all the customer list who are blocked for the sales order. Okay. So now what is the next field we have? The next field we have is ship to party. So I want to know the ship to party. Okay, come here. I want to know who is the ship to party for this customer. Okay, ship to party. Ship to party. Okay. So simple. So from which table we have to fetch the ship to party like I told you. So we have KNVP, correct? So from KNVP table, I have to fetch the ship to party. Okay. So what you have to do here? Simple. Pass. Okay. Pass Kunar into KNVP table. So where I have to pass this customer, I have to pass the customer into Kunar field and fetch what ship to party KNVP. But what is the field name of ship to party? So I'll go to SAP. I'll go to slash nsc16n. I'll go to KNVP. Okay, I'll go to KNVP. So we have customer here. Okay, give the customer, click on execute. So now where's the ship to party? So ship to party is here, SH, correct? Now I will double click on this line item. Okay, this is the ship to party. This is the ship to party. So here you have to be very careful to give the logic. Okay. So how you have to give the logic? So you have to give logic in such a way that so pass the customer number into KNVP Kunar and fetch KNVP. And what is the ship to party here? So ship PARVW. So PAVRW. I'll copy this. I will paste here. Only if you have to give this condition, only if KNVP TARVW is equal to what? WE. So this condition you have to give. Okay, how to fetch the ship to party? Pass the customer number into KNVP table and fetch the ship to party only if the ship to party is equal to WE. Because why? Suppose I'll close this. I will close this. Now I will double click on bill to party. Bill to party. Even for bill to party also the field name is same PARVW. Now how should I differentiate? I have to differentiate this with RE. So with this field, I have to differentiate. Now, similarly, I have sold to party, correct? If I double click on this first item sold to party, okay. For sold to party also, the field name is, the partner function field name is PARVW. But how to differentiate? I can differentiate with this. Okay, I can differentiate with this. So like this, the ABAPers will write depending upon the logic that we provide. So writing a functional specification is very, very important as a functional consultant. Okay. So from customer point of view, these are the important tables you have. So whatever the report that the client has related to customer master, okay. So you can go through these table names, okay, these table names. And similarly, what is the table name which we faced here? ADR6, okay, ADR6. So sixth one, what we have? ADR6. Okay, ADR6. So like this, when you start exploring, so start writing the functional specifications. Okay. So this is how you can improve. So initially, even I was facing a lot of problem to write the logics, but now it's very clear. So it's all about how you think and how you analyze. Okay. It all depends upon you. See how simple it is to write a functional specification. So, okay, it is not simple. You have to pass the customer number into these tables and you have to fetch the data and you have to explain this to ABAPers. Okay, this is the I'll just write address table. Okay, so this is a very, very important as a functional consultant. So please practice or else it will be very easy, very difficult to become expert to write the functional specification.